Kx2 from Elecraft is a very popular low-powered HF transceiver. It has a number of accessories, but we take a look at using the Kx2 naked. We of course refer to the radio, not the reviewer. Well, after that introduction, I hope that not too many people were disappointed. The Elecraft Kx2, I'm going to talk about that, using it in sort of bare bones, because it has a lot to offer, even without all the accessories. But first of all, I get one or two comments about the music for the intros and so forth. Somebody said, well, is it my band? Well, I don't as such have a band. I do play regularly, but not quite that sort of music. All the music that you hear on these videos are produced by me, and I use a couple of Korg keyboards. I've also got a Yamaha keyboard here, but primarily I use a couple of Korg keyboards, and by messing about with them, I produce some various musical effects. Some, I hasten to add, more successful than the others, but that's the nature of this channel. It's I try to keep it fairly light-hearted. I try to keep it fairly straightforward. Not everybody agrees with everything I say. Well, that's fine. A lot of what I do on this channel is sort of aimed at when I say beginners, those that haven't been in ham radio for too long. And if I do repeat myself, because we've done quite a few videos now, it's simply because people have asked for the information. So there we are, that's the intro over. So let's now talk about the Elecraft Kx2. Now the Elecraft Kx2 is a great little HF transceiver. It covers 80 meters through to 10 meters. It doesn't cover 160 meters, it doesn't cover 6 meters, but to a lot of people that is not too important. One of the attractive features is that it gives you 12 watts output. That means it's twice the output, for example, of the FT817 or the FT818. And there are several accessories you can purchase with the Kx2 to extend the convenience, if you like. But what I want to do today is to look at how you can use the Kx2 with the absolute minimum of external accessories, and I mean minimum. So let's take a look at the various options one by one and see how you can manage either without them or at a lot less cost. Now the first thing I'm going to look at is the CW key. Elecraft do a lovely little paddle key which goes straight into the Kx2 and makes it a very, very compact transceiver. But you may want to use a key which is less costly. Now I show here one of the keys that we stock. It's probably the cheapest, what I would call quality paddle key that we stock. And it doesn't have a base, but I've mounted my paddle key on a piece of wood. Typical of me, I suppose. I've mounted on a piece of wood, and underneath I put some sort of a non-slip material, and it makes quite a nice key. And I've fastened the cable to make sure it doesn't put any strain on the key with a bit of glue from a glue gun. And that is my CW key. It's very good, it's very comfortable to use, and it is a lot cheaper than other options. Now CW is all very well, but if you're operating SSB, of course, you need a microphone, don't you? Well, in the case of the Kx2, no you don't, because there is actually a built-in microphone. If you look on the far left of the panel, you'll see a little tiny hole. That is the built-in microphone, and it actually works quite well. Golf 3 Oscar Japan Victoria QRP. George 3 Oscar Japan Victoria QRP. Golf 3 Oscar Japan Victoria QRP. G3 Ocean Japan Victoria QRP. QSL, that is correct. Yes, okay, from Golf 3 Oscar. Well, there we are. That worked quite well, actually. You do need to speak fairly close to the transceiver, but that's no great problem, really. And of course, if you're just out portable, operating occasionally, then it means to say that it's one less item to carry. You don't need a microphone, it's built in. Now, I should add that Elecraft makes some very good and useful accessories, but what I'm trying to pass on here is that even without these accessories, even with the Kx2 naked, it works quite well and it's worth looking at. The extras can come later. So what are we going to have a look at next? Well, antenna. Do you need an antenna tuning unit? I mean, of course, if you want an antenna tuning unit, Elecraft make one. But maybe, just maybe, you can get by without one. You know, there are very many resonant antenna systems you can use to avoid the need for an antenna tuning unit. I mean, dipole is an obvious one, a mobile whip or some other whip that's got some radials with it, a vertical. All these antennas can be operated without an antenna tuning unit. My favourite happens to be the end-fed half-wave because it is a multi-band antenna and it is very easy to erect. You can throw it over a tree or whatever. I tend to use mine sometimes as an inverted V and sometimes as just a wire run out. And I recently did a couple of videos, one video showing a 20 metre and 17 metre end-fed wire, which is only around about 8 metres long, and I'll put a link to that video below this video. And I also showed you how to make your own matching transformer. Again, I'll put a link to that as well. These antennas don't require antenna tuning units, and the Kx2 is very well protected in any case. I've on occasions in error transmitted without an antenna and the Kx2 survived. The Kx2 does have a built-in Vswr meter, and so you can see the power and the Vswr at the same time when you're transmitting. I would recommend, however, that you take with you an antenna analyzer. It doesn't need anything sophisticated. What actually happens when you're out portable is sometimes the antenna is not resonant quite where you thought it was. When you last used it, it was in the middle of the band, and because of the environment and because you changed the configuration of the antenna, resonance may have moved. Now, whilst the Kx2 will tell you whether you've got a high VSWR or not, it won't tell you where the resonant point is. And that's the same with all transceivers. So if you carry with you a low-cost antenna analyzer, something that just shows you where the resonant point is of the antenna, it's going to save you a lot of time. So what about power in your Kx2? Now the Kx2 comes with a DC lead, and it'll run off of anything from about 8 or 9 volts up to about 14 or 15 volts. You can purchase a battery to go inside the Kx2, and of course you need the associated charger as well. And that will give you, you can run the Kx2 at around about 10 watts with that internal battery, but not for long. As soon as the voltage starts to dip down a bit, the Kx2 will automatically switch back to the 5 watt level. And of course, if you've got the capability of running 12 watts, it makes sense to try and use it if you so desire. So I tend to use external 12 volt supplies, and I've actually standardized my DC lead for the Kx2 is fitted with a cigar plug. That means that I can plug it into the car 12 volt system, and I've also got a battery power supply that's got a cigar socket on it, so it makes it very portable. But the choices are endless, really. The point I'm really making is that you don't actually need to use the battery, an internal battery with the Kx2, because you can run it externally from a 12 volt system. And the advantage, of course, of having an external 12 volt system is, firstly, you're guaranteed to get your 12 watts output, and provided the battery is a reasonable size, you can run that 12 watts for quite a long time. So I tend to use external power supplies now, which gives me a longer life, and also make sure I get that 12 watts output. So you see, you can run your Kx2 very effectively without the accessories. And as I said before, the accessories are very good, but if you've purchased your Kx2, you may prefer to perhaps use it without the accessories, or at least start to use it initially without the accessories, and then buy any accessories that you need as time progresses. So I thought I'd just complete this short video with just highlighting some of the things, some of the features which I do like on the Kx2. So the features that I like on the Kx2, quite a few actually. It's got a lot of features. The things that really stand out for me is the selectivity. You've got variable selectivity. You can go down to around about 100 Hertz, I think, for CW, and open up to about 3.5 kilohertz for SSB. I normally set my SSB to around about 2.4 kilohertz, but it's completely variable. You've got a preamp and an attenuator built in there. Obviously an electronic key built in there. You've got a message recorder there. You can record short CW messages like CQ, and a couple of voice messages, again like CQ. And if you're using the built-in microphone, it saves you having to keep repeating CQ, just press the button. You've got a transmit button there, so you can manually go on to transmit. There's another button to hold down. It'll give you a low-level carrier for adjusting the ATU. And you've got the IRT control, so you can operate, you can move the receiver around slightly, and you can also operate split tuning. The display is excellent. There's a tremendous amount of information indicated on the display, not only frequency, but you've got things like time, etc., and all sorts of things, the filter. I mentioned you've got the power and the Vswr built in, and of course you've got the S meter. Noise reduction, you've got a noise reduction on there, that's excellent, that really works extremely well. And it's all in all, it's a nice transceiver. This one is a little bit battered actually, because this is one of the originals. This is number 00026. I was given this by Elecraft at the show when they launched the Kx2. It's actually got a screw missing there, but there we are. We do carry the spare parts. I just haven't bothered to get the screw. So I think that probably are, they're all the things that I like. And you know, you've got all the various accessory sockets on there. You've got the key, your headphones, microphone, etc. So it's all in one box, this little HF transceiver that generates 12 watts. You can use it naked. When I say naked, of course, I mean you can use the radio naked. Any other activity you use with it is entirely up to you. So thank you for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. And I do try and make these videos as, well, I try to vary these videos to make them as interesting as possible, guided a lot by you, by the questions you ask. I do appreciate you subscribing to this video, it's much appreciated. And all the comments we get are very interesting. Some of the comments you put up there are really, really interesting and thought-provoking. And as I say, some of them provoke or prod me into doing another video. So in the meantime, enjoy your ham radio, take care, and if you are going to go out portable with the Kx2, or maybe the new Discovery 500, which is coming in September, it's a great way to enjoy some outside life and get some fresh air into your lungs. So, thanks for watching, take care, speak soon.